Hi, welcome to my library. Today I wanted to show you a series of manuscripts that I did in 1984 till 1987. Over a 4-year period, I was living in the inland of Taree, and I put together all these manuscripts. And you can see, if I took one page, that the size of the manuscript is very tall. And I realised it was like the Tibetan when I went to Tibet in 1989. The manuscripts were also the same size, and years later I calculated the perimeter. So when you measure those four sides, it adds up to 1,618 meters. That's 1.618 meters, and I had no idea that's the golden number. So just intuitively, I found a way of putting all my research into the right format. Okay, so I wanted to show you some magic squares. So this one here is a magic square. So my fascination in the 1980s and 1970s was collecting harmonics, where this magic square of 9 has the columns the same and the rows and diagonal. So my fascination, like people collect stamps or coins, I was collecting magic squares. So that's one. Then I would be turning the numbers, those numbers, if you join 1 to 2 to 3, I wanted to know, what does the pattern look like? So you can see I'm sort of exploring pattern and harmony. And then when I start rotating a pattern, when you rotate the pattern, you realise that they start looking more beautiful. So this is all hand done in around 1984. So a lot of love went into these, and eventually these have become the decals, those geometries that I've done now in 2018 are decals. And then I would take these designs and I might use them, say, for an auric field as a creative representation of a goddess. Here, this is Lakshmi, where the coins are coming out. This represents abundance, because I was praying for a studio where I can get my work out to the world. And there's more references to magic squares. A lot of creativity has gone into all of this. So that's magic squares of 9. And then I was looking at magic squares of, so in 1984, I kept doing more work. So in 1984, I thought, okay, I want to, I had a little airbrush at the time, so I made little stencils and I could make my own borders. And this was all a dedication just to one magic square. So you're just looking at one magic square. There's actually 880 different types of magic squares of 4. I did some murals at the time of Grace Jones with mandalas around her. So this is a specific type of magic square by Benjamin Franklin. So Benjamin Franklin, from the US in 1778, I think he united the 13 colonies. So he had a beautiful magic square that I've rotated a few times. And these are the numbers for it here where my finger is. That's the magic square by Benjamin Franklin, because he did the 8x8 magic square. So it's just a lot of different options and designs are still going. And did you see the paper just for? These are so old that the glue just fell off the back of them. These are like 35-year-old manuscripts. So I either restore them. Some got a little bit colourful, and some pages were just like borders. And I love doing calligraphy. So a lot of love and time had gone into these manuscripts, which essentially was foreseeing at 108 Academy, that one day I had this vision. I knew I was going to put all this out in a global sense. And so this is magic square of 4. So this is a hand-drawn one introducing the magic square of 4. There's actually 880 different versions of this magic square. So one of my visions when I get funding is to get them all accessibly drawn and shared, and to find the application, how this knowledge on magic squares and harmonics can be used in the real world. And just my final chapter, just to show you, is I did a book called, this folder includes the book of Super Aquarian. So I was particularly fascinated by this date in 1962, on the 4th of February 1962, 7 planets lined up in Aquarius. So I'll show you that one. I'll show you the birth chart. So and people predicted that it was the second coming. So you can see here I'd met this is a chart where there's 7 planets. If you look carefully around here where my finger is, there's 7 planets in Aquarius, and it hasn't happened for 2,000 years. And I'd been meeting all my life people who were born on that date. So that was interesting. I did thousands of drawings. There's a book coming called The Book of Doodles where I take a leaf plant, glue it, draw a character around it. So even this sketch here was a prediction of people born in the Super Aquarian. So this drawing here that I did in New Guinea when I lived in the forest for 2 years created this mural down where my finger is here. So that's a mural called Fox, which is a signature for 666. So these were my dreaming days. So we've got, there's still some pages that are unfinished. So for example, this was the beginning of another page where I used my airbrush to paint a background. But obviously there was some important poetry here that I resonated to. A lot of my early drawings are hidden here. So in 1984, when I had an out-of-body experience, I drew this Egyptian figure. It was like a vision that I had, and Aboriginal elders, 9 clustered within each other. So there's a lot of my subconscious has gone into this. Okay, and some of the pages are just decorative. They're not actually mathematical. I was working on other chapters. And this was a mural. You can see this was a mural that was done in 1984, and it had 5 bodies in one. But I'm just showing you these to see when you look at the artwork, the glue, you can actually see the glue marks coming through. So I'm at a point where I've had to revisit all these 30 volumes of manuscripts and put them into a format. And the format has become the 108 Academy. So from all this knowledge, I just wanted to let you know that I've done so much research with this amazing library here, and with all these documented manuscripts. I've been able to select what I believe is the cream, or what they call mathematical plum. So what I've selectively done from my research is to say, hey, these are important topics. Children must study mandalas, magic squares, Fibonacci sequence, prime numbers. And our job is to turn numbers into pictures. So when you join the 108 Academy, you're getting like the best mathematics that's available on the planet. So we believe that by making maths beautiful, that we're offering a very unique little mini-versity so that children can get excited about this content. And that from all this research, I've earned the status of saying that I'm qualified to give the best that is available on the planet. So stay in touch, and we'll see you soon.